I'm not live. What?
We're gonna go steering. Ready to go?
Yeah, it won't be long. Just wait till like.
Or we can do it right now.
No, I
Let's do
can't.
it.
It's time for me to play. We can go at 11:30.
y'all. Welcome to another good morning, y'all. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? We'll give another couple more minutes to get a couple more people into their live stream here. Get enough time for the other people to get in here, and we'll get started in a minute. Get some things set up here. Get a couple more minutes, and we'll get started here. We will get started. Okay. We'll we'll see if everybody else can jump in later, but we'll go ahead and get started. So as of the 10:30 update, 10:45 update as well from the National Hurricane Center, we do now have a potential tropical cyclone 4 has formed in the northern Atlantic Ocean. This is near eastern Cuba right now. See it right there. You can see our potential going to be Debby here in a day or so, or maybe today, this afternoon or so, if it starts to organize, which is starting to organize over eastern Cuba right now. We do have potential tropical cyclone 4 has formed, and National Hurricane Center cone has it as a tropical storm making landfall in Florida. But just don't focus on that cone. This cone is where we think the center of this storm, where the center of likely Debby will form and will go. This doesn't mean the exact location where the storm will go. This is estimated of where we think the center will go. The center, if it starts to strengthen or rapidly intensify, this center might go like that, or it may just stay with the National Hurricane Center and go that way. Um, but good bets. We do have better agreement on the models that this thing will make a northeast turn. So if you're here in Arkansas, I don't think it's going to impact us in Arkansas. But I know some friends that are going down to Florida this weekend, and you've got to really keep an eye on this if you're going to Florida this weekend or going to the Florida Gulf Coast, especially because they're going to have rip current issues. They're going to have the storm surge issues if this thing starts to rapidly intensify. They're going to have rip current issues, really heavy rainfall. I mean, the heavy rainfall threat is going to be the worst of this, guys. Really concerned about the not the windy part of the system, but more of the heavy rainfall threat with the system. We've got several. You've got this storm's going to make landfall and it's going to stall. It has potential to stall over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And if that does end up happening, it's going to just sit there and it's going to produce heavy rainfall. I'll say from this part of Florida. I'll say the whole state of Florida. I'll say from this area right in here, it's going to be your best bet of really heavy rainfall. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute when I show you um, all the forecast models. So going back to this, we see thunderstorm activity and going across from the center. So we don't have we have a center now, but it's not named yet. But you can see some little organizing of development starting to occur right now. Go to your lower levels, which is the moisture. This is what the water vapor imagery is like right now. You can really see the thunderstorm exploding. The thunderstorms are exploding off from away from the center. This is going to be a far-reaching impact from the system. You're going to start seeing feeder bands from potential Debby in Florida by tomorrow. Um, so if you're like in southern Key West, southern Florida, you're probably going to start seeing feeder bands tonight and as early as tomorrow morning. But I'll say from northern Florida, probably tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening is when you're going to start seeing those bands come in tomorrow. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what the storm does as it approaches the Gulf of Mexico and see how strong it gets as it gets into the Gulf. Um, Guys, this is going to produce really heavy rainfall. I'm itching y'all to be weather aware. As y'all head, if you're in Florida, be weather aware because it's going to be a far-reaching, impacting kind of system. Main threat is probably it's going to be the heavy rainfall threat. That is that is just a lockdown issue right there. It's going to be heavy rainfall. We'll go. Let's go to the forecast models, and I'll show you all the forecast models here. And you know, I mean, the forecast models are in a good agreement right now on this on the system. So um, let's go to pivotal weather. So this is a forecast model from pivotalweather.com. This is the US GFS model right now. So we go to the let's go start with the 0Z model from this morning. This is your total precipitation. You can see parts of Florida down here. Get this going. So we have parts of Florida down here that could be impacting in this. So you have that. We also have, so I'll go by Saturday morning. You can start to see some of those feeder bands starting to make its way toward into Florida. You can see parts of Florida could be in like 3 inches of rainfall already in that area. So you can see how far impacting this system is going to go. So, and then if I skip ahead to Sunday mid morning, you can start to see the center or the exploding thunderstorm development across Florida. So you can see heavy rainfall across Lake Okeechobee in Florida. If you're in Panama, which I have a couple of friends that are going to Panama City this weekend and next week, don't just focus on the cone. Don't say, "Oh, it's gonna miss me." I'm not saying it's gonna miss y'all or it's gonna hit y'all, but you're in a direct impact on this. You could have several bands of storms come across that storm, and then you could have a tornado threat with this as well. You're going to have a severe weather threat with this as well. This is by Monday. Next Monday, you can see a couple of cities in Florida could reach over 6 inches of rainfall by Monday alone, by Monday morning alone. So this is one model. This is the 0Z model. We go to the 6Z model in 75 hours out, and you can see how it upped its rainfall totals a little bit. The GFS model did. See, like 8 inches by Monday. If I go by Tuesday morning, you go by Tuesday morning. Look at that. So you got GFS model has more or less has lesser amounts of rainfall across the northern half of the Panhandle of Florida, but it's the central and southern part of Florida, according to the GFS model, with the heaviest rainfall, and then up into the Georgia coast and the Carolina coast. There. Now I'm gonna go to the European model. European model has a different take on this. So you go by Tuesday, 108 hours out. Now you can see a different track with this. It has less rainfall totals across that area where the GFS model had it over across Lake Okeechobee. That has like 1 to 2 inches of rainfall there. But now you can see as a little more rainfall total, a little more rain, a lot more rainfall totals across Tampa, Cedar Key, Florida, all those areas there. We can see higher rainfall totals there. We go by Wednesday. This is where I'm talking about the stalling situation here. This thing ends up stalling across the Eastern Gulf. It takes this little precious time getting across Florida. Once it hits the Carolina coast, this is where we run into problems. We got Myrtle Beach over in South Carolina. You've got parts of Wilmington, North Carolina, farther north of that. Wilmington right here with 6 to 8 inches possible. So um, that is the European model. We go to the Canadian model now. Canadian model has lesser amount of rainfall across Florida as a whole, but as it makes landfall, it has more rainfall totals across North Carolina and South Carolina with the most heavy rainfall totals of all of it. So I would not rule out Florida right now. It's going to hit Florida. Florida's under state of emergency already with the incoming storm coming in. So the whole state of Florida is under a state of emergency already. So this is why I'm reaching out to y'all, keep y'all ahead of this. So now we go to the icon model. The icon model has done a really job. It did a really good job with Barrel a month ago with Barrel. So you can see what it does. The icon model has some of the heaviest rainfall totals. You can see it's where the heaviest the rainfall totals are reaching out for. So you've got portions of man, I don't see any part of Florida getting out above. I don't see any part of Florida not getting at least 3 inches of rainfall next week. Let me tell you why. I'll tell you why I think the whole state of Florida, I mean, except for the Mobile area, except for this Mobile area and the Pensacola area, I think you're going to get less rainfall, but you're going to get rainfall too, regardless. We go to 108 hours out. Don't take this as a exact forecast, but you can see where it's putting up the heavier rainfall totals. Panama City is right here. Go 138 hours out, you can see more heavy rainfall totals starting to stack up. And then if I go to next week, look at that. Look at next week, y'all. This is where we could see totals 3 to 4 inches an hour rainfall rates with some of these bands coming in next week and this weekend. So um, that's one of the models. The new convection allowing models are coming in now with them. So we're going to get a better idea of what the center of or the center of potential Debby will go likely this afternoon when those allowing models go out. So go in this afternoon. But I I want to go and I want to show y'all why there's why I think this thing could stall. I talked about it yesterday on one of my on the live streams. Yes, on the live stream yesterday morning and afternoon. Um, I talked about why this thing could stall and why the stalling is occurring. Why I think the stalling could occur with the storm. Let's go. Let's go to. Let's go to the GFS model for short here. Let's go to the GFS model for short. Okay. Um, we're gonna go. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. We're gonna go to. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to the. This is called your vortice winds. So your winds and your vortices. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here's a nationwide view of why I think this thing could stall. So you've got a high pressure. I said this. I talked about this yesterday. You've got a high pressure centered over the central part of the center of the country right here. You've got a big high pressure sitting in this part of the country. You've got a Bermuda high centered right here in the Atlantic, and then you've got your tropical wave likely to become Debby over here in the eastern Cuba. Now, watch as we have a dip in the jet stream. We've got those storms, those severe weather riding along the jet streams, just kind of like that. And watch as I go in time and watch that. You saw that little vortice right there. You saw this area right here. It was all the way up here, and now you can see the jet stream is pulling that further down south, and that's what's steering this thing to go north into the Gulf. So you've got those interaction with the winds, with your 850 millibar winds, which is the lower your kind of your surface winds at the surface, and you've got that blocking high pressure that is steering this thing north, and then you've also got this one. If this high pressure right here moves to the west into the southwestern U.S., now this thing could hit. This thing is gonna it's gonna steer north into the Gulf. It's gonna hit Florida. We all know that. But it's the fact that how you see the jet stream is kind of dipping down kind of like that into northern Georgia, into the southeast coast, and it's steering. You can see there's Debby right there. So you've got your jet stream kind of like that, and then you've got Debby coming in, and it's steering its way north. So that's why I think this thing could stall. You've got so many factors in play. You've got the jet stream, depending on how far south that jet stream dips. So you've got a jet stream. If it dips kind of like that, if it dips like that, then yeah, Florida's in a lot of trouble. We could have a stalling storm that could rapidly intensify into a hurricane in the northeastern Gulf this afternoon. Not this afternoon, but this weekend into early next week and all week next week as well. Um, so really keep an eye on the weather forecast from the National Hurricane Center as well as your local meteorologists, the National Weather Service offices too. Um, be weather aware. Y'all, anybody got any questions I can answer for y'all? Okay. So, yeah, so just to recap everything, you've got Debby likely forming this afternoon into a tropical depression likely this afternoon, tropical storm likely this weekend, and then you've got impacts to from potential Debby this weekend for southern Florida and central Florida, and then the rest of the state of Florida by this weekend, Sunday at the latest, is when you're going to start seeing the earliest of the rainfall coming in to the northern half of Florida. Um, and they're going to have updates from the National Hurricane Center, intermediate advisories every 3 hours, and the public advisories are coming out every 6 hours because it's just a potential tropical cyclone now. So the next update from the National Hurricane Center will be 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll see what this thing is like this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and we'll keep y'all updated, and I'll keep y'all updated on more. I'll be posting a lot this afternoon on this, and um, so that's all I got for y'all. If y'all missed the live stream, y'all can go back and rewind it a little bit and watch what I was talking about. But I will catch y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Be safe out there and stay weather aware. All right, bye y'all.